The Ravens 2025 season was an absolute mess to say the least. So, as an angry Ravens fan, I thought I'd make a quick video recapping this ridiculous season. And where else to start then? It all started here. The beginning of an absolute disaster of a season. The Ravens, coming into the season with one goal in mind. Revenge. Revenge against the team that killed their hopes of winning the Super Bowl last year, the Buffalo Bills. And for a good portion of the game, the Ravens were getting that revenge they wished for, being up 40-25 late in the fourth quarter, until the first of many mistakes happened. Tyler Loop, our brand new rookie kicker, missed an extra point, leaving us with only 40 points. So, missing that kinda stole us the game. But it's okay, because he's a rookie, right? It's not like it's gonna happen again, right? Right? On a first down at the 41-yard line, Derrick Henry fumbled the ball for the first time as a Raven, leading to the Bills recovering the ball and scoring for a touchdown just seconds later. Once the Ravens offense gets back onto the field to hopefully close out the game, they freeze. And absolutely nothing happens, leading to a punt. Then the Bills offense effortlessly drives down the field and kicks a field goal to seal the game, leading to the Ravens' first of many bad losses over the next couple months. Going into week 2, the Ravens wanted to set things straight and get back on track to make a deep playoff run and potentially win the Super Bowl. But one thing had to be fixed, and that was how they needed to keep their foot on the gas and not slow down, even if the game seemed like it was over. You know, it's really unfortunate how many times they end up telling themselves this and they still choke away games that can be easily put away if the coaching was just better. Anyways, in week 2, the Ravens absolutely stomped the Browns, beating them 41-17, and just like that, they were back. Or maybe they weren't. In these next couple weeks, things kept getting worse and worse for this team. They got ran over by David Montgomery and the Lions, losing 38-30. Then probably the worst game of the season took place against the Chiefs. This game was already looking pretty bad for the Ravens because after the first drive, they just couldn't get anything going. And then, it happened. Lamar Jackson went down with a hamstring injury. This moment right here was the first sign of how much worse the season was about to get. Lamar was then officially ruled out for the next 2 weeks, and the Ravens decided to start the new backup quarterback, Cooper Rush. And in those next 2 games, Cooper Rush did absolutely nothing! Gosh, I don't even want to talk about this, but gotta finish this video somehow, right? The offense only scored a total of 13 points in those 2 weeks, which is insane considering that with Lamar, they averaged 40 points this season. In those 2 games, the defense just managed to get worse than before, giving up 44 points to a Texans offense, which is really not that good outside of Nico Collins. Also, by the way, Houston, thank you. Thank you for what you just did to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Anyways, then they lost a very winnable game against the Rams, 17-3. At this point, they were 1-5, and no one knew when Lamar would be back, so things were looking very bad for the Ravens going forward. Going into week 3, the Ravens decided to start an old friend that's been with the team before and has had some success for the most part, Tyler Snoop Huntley. Huntley was previously a backup for the Browns just earlier this season, so the fact that the Ravens were able to get him back was huge, because if you don't know, Huntley is basically Lamar 2.0, just a little less accurate if you ask me. But what I mainly mean by Lamar 2.0 is the fact that Huntley can use his legs in crucial situations, just like Lamar. And what was good about this is that since he hasn't played this season, his legs were fresh, so nothing was going to slow him down. Tyler Huntley and the Ravens went into week 7 with one goal in mind: win no matter what. And that's exactly what they did, winning the game 30-16 against the Chicago Bears. For the first time in over a month, there was actually hope in Baltimore. Tyler Huntley really made a difference, and I couldn't be happier about it. Just 1 week after Huntley helped save the Ravens season, Lamar ended up coming back. It was a Thursday night game against Miami, which will not be his team next year, by the way, and he did his thing, scoring 4 touchdowns with 204 passing yards, winning the game 28-6. From there, the Ravens just kept winning, beating the Vikings 27-19, the Browns 23-16, and the Jets 23-10. Now, while these games did end up being wins, something was still off. Lamar still didn't look 100% out there. This was a major concern going into the next couple weeks, but besides that, everything was looking great. They were 6-5 and going in the right direction. But then, something bad happened. Right before the game against the Bengals on Thanksgiving, it was officially announced that Joe Burrow would be coming back and start versus the Ravens. This was a huge problem considering Joe Burrow had 2 generational performances against this Ravens defense last year, but the Ravens did end up winning those 2 games despite Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase playing out of their minds against them, so what's the worst that could happen, right? Unfortunately, the absolute worst happened for the Ravens in this game. Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase once again absolutely smoked the Ravens defense. Joe passed for 2 touchdowns and 261 yards, while Jamar Chase got 110 yards on 7 receptions! Sorry, let me cool down. It's actually insane how bad this Ravens defense is against these 2. And in other news, the Ravens offense turned the ball over 5 times. Everything was falling apart as the Ravens lost 32-14 on Thanksgiving. What a great way to end the night, right? The next week, things just got worse. The Ravens had to play the Steelers for the first time this year, and you'd think they'd have a better chance of winning because they were at home in Baltimore. But no. 42-year-old Aaron Rodgers and DK Metcalf went straight through them, winning 27-22. Now, the Ravens did almost have an amazing comeback drive until this happened.
Miami in the Jets game. This is the touchdown that they took away. Boy, that's close.
Yeah, it's insane. I will forever stand on the fact that that was a touchdown, but in the end, the rest said it wasn't, and the Ravens ultimately dropped their first game against the Steelers this year. Then the Ravens went to play Cincinnati in Cincinnati, and surprisingly, they somehow shut out the Bengals completely, not giving them a single point the entire game, winning 24-0. This was great. Things were looking much better as Ravens just eliminated their own rivals from playoff contention. But then Week 16 came. This was an important one. They played the 11-3 Patriots, which have been on fire this year. They had to win this game. And at first, things looked great for the Ravens, until Lamar unexpectedly went out with a back injury, which would cause him to miss the rest of the game. And also, the next one against the Packers. But anyways, Tyler Snoop Huntley came back out for the first time since Week 7, and did a great job. Or, I guess it was really Derrick Henry, but Tyler didn't make any mistakes while he was out there. So to me, he did a good job despite not doing much. Now, Derrick Henry, on the other hand, was absolutely dominating the Patriots defense, scoring 2 touchdowns and running for 128 yards. The score going into the 4th quarter was 24-13. The Ravens had a good lead, but then I guess John Harbaugh just decided to John Harbaugh, and guess what they did? They choked. Again. And you want to know what just makes this worse? They put Derrick Henry on the sideline for the entire 4th quarter, despite him having all those yards and touchdowns. Then the Patriots slowly came back into the game and ultimately won it because of another one of John Harbaugh's terrible coaching performances. This was a new low. The Ravens had a clear path to win this game and just completely left in the dark for an entire quarter. Next week, the Ravens went into Green Bay and decided to be smart and actually stick with Derrick Henry this time. And man, he went off. A 31-year-old Derrick Henry ran all over the Packers, going for 216 yards and 4 touchdowns. This is exactly what they should have been doing this entire season, even when Lamar was playing. So many things could have been prevented if they just would have kept Derrick on the field and not completely forgot about him. The Ravens ended up winning the game against the Packers 41-24, their first 40 bombs since week 2. They were now 8-8, and now the Ravens had to rely on one of the worst teams in the league, the Cleveland Browns, to pull through and beat the Steelers so they could still have a chance to make the playoffs. And somehow, the Browns actually pulled off the upset. They beat the Steelers in a very sloppy game 13-6, now making the Steelers 9-7. This was it. This was the Ravens' last chance to keep their season alive, and it would all go down in a game against their greatest rivals, the Pittsburgh Steelers, in the battle for the AFC North. This was it. The battle for the North was here. For both teams, this was a must-win game. It was a win-or-go-home situation. The Ravens' defense started off pretty solid, only holding the Steelers to 3 points in the first half, until arguably their best player on defense, Kyle Hamilton, got hurt. This was a huge loss for the Ravens. If you ask me, this injury literally changed the entire game. Steelers were now able to drive down the field like it was nothing. Without DK Metcalf, by the way, because he got suspended for kind of punching a fan 2 weeks ago. And even though the defense was having problems, in the 4th quarter, the offense really came to life. Almost looking like they did back in the first 2 weeks of the season. It was beautiful. Lamar and Zay Flowers made some amazing plays for touchdowns, but unfortunately, the defense just couldn't keep up, giving the Steelers more and more chances to score points. and score points is exactly what they did. It was the fourth quarter with 55 seconds left on the clock. The Steelers just scored another touchdown due to a Ravens defender tripping and completely messing up the play, leaving the score at 26-24. But there was still hope because the Steelers kicker just missed the extra point, making it so the Ravens just needed to kick one field goal, which would win the game. The Ravens had a great run back all the way to the 47-yard line, and the offense started working, making it all the way to the 26-yard line. And this was it. All they had to do was kick this 44-yard field goal to win the game, knock out the Steelers, and make it to the playoffs. It all came down to this.
Tyler Luke from 44. Snap good.
And just like that, Tyler Luke missed wide right. The Baltimore Ravens 2025 season was officially over.